changing things around? Are we going to see different picks coming out from them? Or is it going to be just more about the opportunities to go for these ganks more frequently? Because that is certainly going to be there with just a lot less vision out on the map.
Absolutely the case here. Cassiopeia banned away on the blue side. I expected that Rise would be 100% banned first round red side every single game. So far, 1-for-0. This is a good start for me. Premier analyst, knowing that Rise got buffed in the patch. But of course, everyone kind of saw that coming. Yes, Archangels. Users got a lot better in this patch, so not surprised to see those champions go down. No Sejuani for Meteos or Xmithie either, I do suppose. A couple more bans through.
And Skarner has actually been getting a lot of bans in the patch. It's actually the most banned on 8.4 so far. There only has been the one major region that has played just yet, but it's the highest ban percentage by quite a bit. And, you know, Skarner is going to get taken off the table. Camille is another one that is very high priority. We have seen a lot of other tier users kind of go up in priority here too, but not sure if it's enough to get them on the pick and ban list. You know, things like Anivia I think are much stronger. We see how that come out in the EU LCS and win. Even Zilean, which has come out here and there in the NALCS, I think is quite a bit better now with those changes to that immunization. So we're going to have to see where these guys really want to go, but Galio getting taken off the table makes quite some sense too, as not only a very strong mid laner, but one who can theoretically build banner if you're looking for that sort of strategy.
Of course, we've seen some tank mids come through. Golden Glue, Cloud9 Academy played that, for example. Got to win off that. Kha'Zix, the first pick through, so Team Liquid going to play an assassin jungle for themselves. To the point you made earlier, you talked about what kind of style teams are going for. I think it's very interesting. We heard Probably talk about it before the show. Saying, you know, I'm not sure exactly what the best style is going to be. We're going to try to figure it out as quickly as we can. And I'm just sort of very curious what game plan these teams think is the best coming into this game, because there's not that much of footage to look through and prepare against.
Yeah, there definitely isn't. There's a lot of, you have to kind of trust your analysts for preparation. You have to trust what the players are telling you from their games in solo queue and what you figured out from your limited time in scrims. You know, at the beginning of the ULCS games, we were seeing a lot of these teams did not really know about the interaction with a minion dematerializer, you know, working with that to kill off the banner minion that is buffed up by Baron. That is obviously a pretty nice adaptation that some teams have been doing more and more. And you saw towards the end of the week, teams were doing that almost every single game, saving dematerializer charges, waiting for that, and it becomes this kind of back and forth around how you shut down the banner plus Baron combo versus how you enable that and defend it. And it's kind of this little mini game that has come in the later stages.
Absolutely. So you're going to see Liquid going for a lot of early pressure. Xayah, Rakan, one of the very best duelings you can lock in the bot lane. That's going to be really strong, especially against a slightly weaker earlier laner like Tristana. The Kha'Zix also, of course, a highly aggressive jungler as well, as long as the lanes have gank assist. So Liquid looking like some pretty early power. The rest of their team fight will come through their solo lanes a bit later on in the draft. 100 Thieves looking like, honestly, completely standard picks. Jax is a very common jungler here as well, likely to be full tank. Alistar super frequent as well. So not a new look yet, really on both sides, but we'll see what comes through as the draft moves on.
You do have to say, though, if there is more of a focus on how important the early game is, if the game does kind of turn into who gets more of an advantage so that they can take Baron, so that they can do this banner buff and do these sorts of things, you're really liking the TL draft, and especially with how good DoubleLift and Olleh have been when they are at their best, that is a very dominant bottom lane. They have, in my opinion, the 2v2 matchup as well as jungle priority in the early stages. What could be interesting is if we see Meteos changing up the Jax build at all, now that it is not a Tracker's Knife world, if he is willing to go more quickly towards a Triforce, or if he's willing to do any more sort of kind of aggressive dueling style of build, that can change the dynamics of the game quite a bit.
Absolutely the case right here. Other thing that I wanted to point out is I've seen a couple of teams place high priority on Nunu jungle because, again, the theory is what if 20-minute wins are really important because of how much better a Baroned up cannon minion with Banner of Command can be, and that doesn't seem to be actually that prevalent, but it was a read that some teams had. Of course, both junglers grabbed already are Kha'Zix and Jax, but I wanted to bring that up as an option. Talia off the table. Both are going to be knocked one more mid laner down. Still curious to see exactly what these teams want to run. One final ban for Liquid in the second phase, then it'll be 100 Thieves pick for one of their two solo lanes. They'll kind of pick on one, they'll have to blind pick the other.
I do actually really like the Trundle ban if you're going to be trying to go for a tank top here for impact, which is most likely the case. Yeah. I think that Trundle is kind of being under-prioritized in this patch with so many people just blind picking tank tops and tank mid laners and these sorts of things. There's tanks in the jungle, trying to get people who can build banner. Trundle has a very good matchup in the 1v1 against almost all tanks in the top lane. Deals physical damage to deal with that Baron banner, or just even like a banner just being dropped in your lane. And I think it's pretty effective if you're actually forced into a grouping situation against these tanks. So I think it's something that we'll see a lot more of on this patch. But for now, it's looking like Shen top here. And if Orianna gets locked in, this is just a pretty well-rounded teamfight composition.
Yeah, it is only one tank. Rakan is honestly never that durable as a champion, but still, in fact, should be pretty good being his frontliner. It's one of the champions he had won a world championship on, that Shen top lane back in 2013, and that's going to be the Orianna locked in here for Pobelter, so Team Liquid have their lineup locked in. And
I always really like the Shen alongside someone like an aggressive jungler, as well as an engaged support. You have this Kha'Zix who can jump in more aggressively, knowing that the Stand United can come in to back you up, and you'll have that follow-up CC. It also works very well, with the RW kind of quickness, grand entrance combo here from Rakan. You Shen ult onto that. You have the follow-up taunt there too, so definitely some powerful combos. And as you say, a bit more standard perhaps on 100 Thieves side with a double tank composition, even triple tank if you're going to be looking at the Jax to be building that sort of itemization. And Sion has been just the most picked champion on this patch. People already were starting to like Sion quite a lot. Some of his competition in the top lane got nerfed. Gnar got nerfed, GP got nerfed. We even saw Ornn get nerfed as well as others. And this champion was left alone, was already strong, builds banner very well, and as a result is really kind of skyrocketing in priority. So it'll be interesting to see how this matchup goes. Because right now, even disregarding the Baron plus banner combo, there's not really anyone who's going to be kind of like a physical damage powerhouse clearing side lanes in the later stages of the game. So getting an early banner for Ssumday is going to be pretty frustrating for Pobelter to clear, pretty frustrating for Impact to clear out because of that magic immunity, and that can help give you more control in the side lanes, and then look for the engages, with Corki, with Alistar, and we'll see how it goes.
We will see how it goes. There you go, lineups on your screen. First game of the week for the North American LCS. Team Liquid 7-5 versus 100 Thieves 7-5 as well. These teams are both tied with Clutch Gaming at 3rd/4th/5th. Playoff spots on the line, 6 games to play. And these teams both have a 3-game buffer over 7th. That can slip away. There is time to lose, but there is time to secure it as well. The fans are ready, the cast are ready, the players ready as well, and we get ourselves into the first game of the week. Once again, Team Liquid versus 100 Thieves.
It's going to be a good one. I think a lot of emphasis on the early game power here around the bot side for TL, and if we can see Xmithie getting down to the bottom side of the map, trying to give them some coverage, trying to give them some support to play aggressively, they really could open up a pretty good advantage in that 2v2.
Let's see if it can work for them. It's always fun getting a brush trap or something else. As the early invade comes in, Xmithie spots Meteos. They exchange some looks back and forth.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
It's a classic.
Here we go. What is Rakan throwing? Is that like a peach or an apple?
Looks like a heart.
I guess, yeah.
Probably. Yeah, it's a heart.
Yeah, it's a heart. Okay.
There you go.
I thought it was like a heart-shaped apple or something. But nope, just a heart. That's kind of morbid. Why is he throwing hearts around? Ooh, Cody Sun! Cody, run! Okay, he did. Good. I wasn't clever. I didn't deserve that laughter, but thank you all the same. Oh. Aphromoo knocked into the air. Bone plating survives. He's fine.
They're actually delaying Cody Sun's base a lot. And
when he
forced
rock
him to,
jump level 1.
Yeah, that's actually pretty annoying for Cody Sun here.
They're going to stop it anyway. Yep.
Oh my god.
He's late to lane.
Yeah, he's actually late to lane now, and he's going to have to start W. So as much of a nothing as that looks like, as you're not really assuming that's going to go on so long, but it actually does, and it's going to establish a little bit of a lane advantage. I'm interested to see if they're going to group the minions and try to kind of hold it against their opponents. If you actually stand and clump up the melee minions, you can deny more, but they are just going to let them kind of evenly bounce here in the middle, and should just be last hitting. But either way, Cody Sun should probably lose experience on maybe one or two.
He's almost after losing gold on at least one. XP, it's going to be hard to see.
He's going to lose XP, I think, here on at least that front. And yeah, two melee minions, I believe.
And Aphromoo running right up because he wants to make sure he can get some of that for himself. Got XP for a couple. And yeah, that's a setback for Cody Sun. So an early dual lane lead for DoubleLift and Olleh. Feels pretty good for them as the trade happens at the top side.
Especially when you already have an advantageous lane there. So you're already feeling pretty good about the 2v2. This now means they're going to get a much earlier level 2. It's going to be delayed quite a bit here for their opponents, and we're going to see if they can actually get more of an advantage because of that. And
bam. Grasp trigger number 2. Impact playing lane pretty well. He's also dodged all the E-smacks as well. Gets the taunt as well. This is actually really big damage. Q should be up in a couple more seconds. A couple more hits would kill him. And yeah, able to walk away. The regen good enough, but Impact doing really nicely in the early laning phase here.
And when you're this low, there's actually the chance of just getting taunt flashed on and dying. I mean, if he gets hit by another taunt here and it's up in 1 second, that should be a kill.
Okay, there's the taunt. Going to pull the dagger through as well. 2 more hits will do it. Puts the shield back on. Ssumday. It would take 2 autos. Not worth tower diving, but Impact is the flash down.
Impact actually might have been able to get the kill, but he was very slow on pulling his sword through. You can actually start pulling it as you taunt forward, and you'll have the empowered auto for your first hit. His first attack there was actually without the Q buff.
Yep.
And if you get that, you very easily flash follow for a first blood. Either way, I mean, it's still a good job by Impact, but I think that one should have been a kill.
It seemed like his plan was to layer CC better and that like keep the taunt then slow when the taunt is over. I'm not saying you're wrong in terms of maybe he should have gone for more damage, but he chose the CC over the damage, and he still gets a flash and TP, not the end of the world, but you're right, maybe could have gotten more.
It definitely is a nice advantage, but at the end of the day, if you cannot then convert on a kill, you're up a couple CS, and that is why I oftentimes think going aggressive for those kills can be pretty good to try to guarantee more of an advantage, because there's so many times where in these tank versus tank matchups, even if you force a summoner, how do you convert on that without a jungler being there, without mistakes from Ssumday? Because really the reason that Impact was able to go so aggressive for that is because Ssumday, whether it was dodged or missed or whatever you want to say, did not hit his E multiple times in a row.
And look at that, Impact taking a bit of a rough recall himself as Meteos came by. They knew the threat of a tower dive was simply too great, and it's actually going to be Impact missing several minions here, down 3 CS himself. Here's his match TP, and basically buys Ruby Crystal refillable versus the Dark Nice damage. Yeah, the Dark Shield, thank you. That was picked up there by Ssumday.
Very interesting stuff here. And so far on the bot lane, you look and you see, oh, well, Cody Sun's up farm. But yes, but there's a massive wave pushing towards DoubleLift, which is going to put the 100 Thieves bot lane in a position where they could be engaged on. It's also a lot more farm that can be picked up here for DoubleLift still, and theoretically they could hold a freeze and maybe deny some minions if they could get that into position. But either way, things looking pretty even across the map. Both junglers have gone back and actually got challenging smite. No chilling smite on either side.
Xmithie bypassed all the wards coming into here. He actually went around the one trinket by his ground breaker. He's not seen coming in. This is a flashless Ssumday. He's got no easy way out for this one. And there we go, Xmithie in the range. Red smite on for damage. The flash to follow. Easy first blood picked up. Kill goes over to Impact. Xmithie expertly pathing around the trinket ward that he saw Meteos put down.
Yeah, really nicely done there for TL, and they are able to actually convert on that flash advantage in the top side, which is the payoff that they get from Impact's lane dominance in the early stages, and now they can feel really good about the fact that they didn't actually miss out on that. Impact is going to be having an edge here in lane, and yeah, he can hold it against his opponent. He doesn't have his TP to come back to lane, so this is a bit of an awkward recall timing if he were to go for it. But either way, we'll see how he decides to play this.
Big root damage on Aphromoo. Of course, he had Aftershock burning, so it was less damage than it could have been. He walks away from the combo, and either way, health bars look higher on the Liquid side. Let's watch that fight again.
Oh, it actually looked like he got smashed out of his taunt there, so that is where the taunt went. Ssumday actually able to knock Impact out of that, but back here to live as on the bot side, they're going for an engage.
Pulverize, nice kite back though. Double's gonna stay alive with his flash, but he burns both summoners. Now the root on Aphromoo, but no fault to be had still. Double summoners down for just the flash of Aphro is a positive trade for 100 Thieves.
Yeah, definitely really nice, especially when you do expect that Xayah Rakan lane to be having lane dominance here, and there'll be a couple farm ahead, but definitely not a big deal at all. The summoner advantage is certainly something you will take, especially when Aphro didn't even expend his Ignite, so the potential of actually repeat ganks there is pretty high. But up here on the top side, Xmithie is looking to set up a dive. Ssumday is very low, and Impact actually has Stand United, so this should be a very easy dive.
All right, let's see who pulls the aggro. They're going to wait for it, but 500 HP on Ssumday. They're not going to wait out the shield. Here comes the damage up, and look at the burst there, and Impact has to run away, though. It's actually not going to be a problem. Ssumday goes back for the minions to last it a few more. Nicely done. 2 kills in the top lane for Liquid.
Yeah, really well done there. Snowballing that top side pretty heavily, despite the fact that Ssumday both times has been able to knock Impact out of his taunt. They get the kill, and Meteos has not been there to answer those ganks just yet.
Now Meteos, only been able to keep up and farm, and even then by exactly 1 CS, he's going to look for some Raptors, and that's it.
And I mean, we talked about the impact Tracker's Knife can have. This is actually, you're seeing that, right?
Yeah.
This is an exact case where Xmithie very likely would have been warded out on some of these attempts by the Tracker's Knife. Instead, because that is not there, he's able to get in and be more aggressive.
Taking 9 on the bot lane. Speaking of aggressive, though, this 2-on-2 is going pretty nicely, but the health burst is not getting low as Shen shows up, and they engage in a Stand United. Impact shows, and another kill for Team Liquid.
Yeah, that's pretty careless there from the 100 Thieves bot lane, not respecting the level 6 there from Shen. He was not pushed in, he is not being bullied out. Ssumday was not in a position to actually interrupt that, so you can't go for the engage. Yes, you had the summoner advantage on DoubleLift, and you want to try to capitalize, but Shen means you do not get to go for that play.
And that's going to be 3 kills now, almost 2,000 gold. Put the Liquid head on this one. Yeah, some farm will be denied as Ssumday finally shoves in as he builds towards the Catalyst, it looks like. But yeah, a rough start for Thieves.
Yeah, especially when you consider the fact that the kill went to DoubleLift, and here it is again. They're stepping forward. Aphromoo decides to go in for the combo, and great, you hit the combo. They're going for an all-in, but Stand United immediately reacted to their impact comes straight through, and with Stand United, there's no chance of you getting that kill. So not only will they get the CS advantage on the bot side, they get such a strong buy here, and they get that kill.
Yeah, it was such a late recall, too, because they never had BF Sword going for that fight. It was just Doran's Blade. You're not going to burst through a Shen shield when you haven't recalled on your AD carry just yet. So now you've got Ninja Tabby on DoubleLift. He's really not going to be easy to kill at all.
I mean, even if you have a BF Sword, I still don't think you can pull that off in a 2v3. The way Stand United works, being a bigger and bigger shield, the lower they get, it becomes very difficult to do it if you either react quickly enough, plus the CC coming out from Rakan, you imagine he's going to disrupt things enough. But either way, an ill-advised play there on the bot side for 100 Thieves, and that in combination with the success that Xmithie and Impact have been having on the top side means they have a pretty big lead. Pre-9 minutes into this game, they're up 2.5k. That can lead to more dragons. That can lead to even more ganks. And look how dark the map is, right? This is actually pretty significant. There's a couple wards out on the map for 100 Thieves, but without that trackers, there's many more opportunities for Xmithie to find plays. And when you are a snowballing Kha'Zix, that is very, very scary. If you do not know that this guy is around, you have to play exceptionally scared, and you have to respect the fact that he can jump out of nowhere and burst you down.
So happiness for Team Liquid, who at least in this game look back on form. They were a front runner in the early split. Some of them at #1 after their first couple of weeks, but it had been bad last month roughly. But you can see, right, first 3 weeks, the second 3 weeks, but now again, a perfect KDA game so far. They're slated for a win this one as another fight erupts now on the right-hand side of the map. Looks for the shockwave, lands that one. Meteos forced to run. Ward hops away with his trinket, but still low on health. The chase still in. Xmithie gonna flash the wall. They're gonna trade. Is the burn gonna be enough? It looks like no, as Red Spite had timed out already. Meteos just slinking away.
And you see that refillable potion running from Meteos. Yeah. That is why you always pop your pots at the start of those fights. And Meteos able to negate a lot of that damage through his early Counter-Strike, just letting the Counter-Strike run full there instead of actually early popping it to kind of get that stun out. So definitely a good job to survive, but either way, Xmithie is able to push him back. It's a trade of flashes, and the ultimate used there by Pobelter.
I got to shout out Olleh, by the way, who's already finished his support quest by now. He's actually got wards in the inventory right now, but Aphromoo is only at about like 470 gold on the item so far. He's still got a little bit to go until he can get his own wards. So pretty reasonably early completion there for the TL side. They can kind of continue to snowball either Vision on the bot side or more ganks top side, as it's still not a very tanky Sion yet.
Yeah, and I like the point out of the quest completion, because I think in 8.4 it's actually much more important than it was.
Yeah.
Simply because, again, Tracker's Knife, right? That is gone. So now having this Sightstone means, a much higher kind of increase in vision for your team. It's a much bigger deal to be able to kind of track the jungler and find out where he is playing around, especially if your jungler wants to swap to something like that sweeper. But Impact, again, trading on the top side. And when you get ahead in these sorts of matchups, in these melee matchups, and you're going for an early Tiamat, you can actually go straight for a Titanic. You can play pretty aggressively and really start to bully your opponent. It does get very difficult to win those trades.
Xmithie just walks right into Meteos. He was invisible for part of it, but now gotta respect the fact that Jack's gonna do some damage. He ulted to get some damage reduction, and Xmithie is still on the hunt, but not going to go all the way into the opposing territory. Out they go, fights for some more. TP comes back to the top lane as it's going to be Spectre's Cal's second item for Impact, so he is going for the more defensive of the options, even though Titanic may have worked well.
And this will be interesting, because this is another thing that a lot of times you see in kind of AP matchups, and Sion does a lot more physical damage, obviously. Yes, there's the common and so on, but in AP matchups, you generally see Shen just go for a cowl and then full Titanic. That is really common, but he may just want to sit only on the Titanic and build pure tank, and he's winning the lane quite well here, and knowing that he is the only real tank on the team, maybe kind of incentivizing him to just sit on that Tiamat for lane pressure and then build to be a pure tank, because the other team is going to have 3 tanks where it all kind of comes down to him.
Absolutely. So yeah, definitely building for the team more so than the lane theoretically, and I think it's the right choice. First turret goes down to the bot lane, by the way, as Liquid showed up with their jungler, made sure the pressure was there. So everything right now coming up for them quite nicely. As Impact in the 1v2 wants to fight for this one. Smite comes through, Meteos grabs the Herald
here
and buys a few more seconds. Shotgun pulls him one more time. That's going to be the 4th kill of the game as Ryu forced to jump over the wall. He will stay alive. The jump in for Olleh. He TP'd in off the spell book, but yeah, nothing actually to show for it.
Yeah, not really anything to get there, but since he was going over to the top side anyway, it's less of a big deal. He doesn't have to walk back to bot lane. They were looking for a lane swap here regardless, and they're sending Impact down to the bot lane, going to try to clear out those minions as best as he possibly can. And DoubleLift and Olleh, having taken down one turret, will go for a second. Here it is again. Meteos and Ryu just decide to make the call to finish it because they know they have the smite. They will actually pick up that buff for sure. But Meteos taking a lot of damage, and Impact just intelligently focusing him. Pobelter able to make the roam pretty quickly here. Hits his shockwave, and it's enough to get them one kill.
It was a nice heads-up play by Ryu, coming down to grab the sigil real quick and then walking away knowing he had escape to his left. So good by Ryu to salvage that. He's got the Herald buff, and now speaking of him, he's fighting Xmithie on the side of the map, but he's got Meteos nearby. He was waiting in the wings. Here comes Shen though as well, finds himself the taunt, and the re-engage now towards Meteos, running out of health pretty quickly. Got to fight for the flash forward. They got the distance, they got the damage. Another one for Impact, 2-0 and 300% KP for the top laner.
And again, it just feels like 100 Thieves are not taking into consideration the fact that the Stand United is available. You cannot take these fights that are going to be close fights unless you have someone who is in Shen's face ready to interrupt him. If Aphromoo could have actually interrupted the Stand United ultimate, then sure, maybe you can go for that. But he was obviously not in position to do so. And you're just giving away these kills in multiple fights.
Well, at least something comes through for 100 Thieves. They managed to knock down the bot lane themselves, and this top's going to fall as well. Courtesy of Rift Herald, Ryu should get gold unless the minions steal it. All right, look, gold to Ryu because his Herald knocked it down. And it means the turret score has been equalized, but it's still a 4,000 gold difference in this game. It's a lot to come back from here. 6 minutes until Baron's going to be spawning. That could be a death knell by itself.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a tough team to fight into. When you are this behind, it becomes so difficult to get vision and fight for that. And these are some champions that are going to be at very, very strong kind of power points around that time in the game. You're going to see DoubleLift finishing up his items, and Pobelter already has completed his first item, so he did actually decide to go for the Archangel staff. He's going to be sitting on CDR and going to be at a pretty powerful point around 20 minutes. You're expecting to see a second item perhaps being close to being finished up.
Yeah, a lot of good things going right now. We'll see what Liquid go next for this one. I'm definitely curious to track mid lane itemization overall. Obviously, Orianna was a 100% Morellonomicon champion. Seraph's, of course, one of the possible builds now with the new 20 CDR items, and does go for this one. It is the higher raw AP plus the Selfish Shield when you complete the item and stack the tier all the way. Doesn't really surprise me too much there. We'll see what else comes afterwards, though. We do have the Aegis now coming in for Ssumday, so he's building towards Locket. He'll get that in the next few minutes as Aphromoo, has to burn the ultimate getting away, but that was a trade for Shockwave as Cody Sun walks away and stays alive on his side as well.
The thing that's really nice, though, because he already has a CDR, it's a 66-second cooldown on the Shockwave. It is a 114-second cooldown on Aphromoo's ultimate. So Pobelter is willing to trade that because he knows he has it up basically twice as often, and without that, Aphromoo at this point in the game is essentially paper, just sitting on Mobies and his Sightstone. So I really do like the aggressive trade of those cooldowns and knowing how much less Aphromoo is worth without it. So pretty intelligent stuff. It allows him to get another dragon, and sitting on double Ocean, Essence Reaver, the tier build. Like, these guys are not going to have any sort of mana problems probably at all this game.
Totally agree. It's going to be pretty nice right now for Team Liquid. Double Ocean is just such incredible power for siege scenarios, and I really expect them to try that 20-minute Baron, use the bug-fixed Banner of Command. It makes the cannon minions so much stronger in that buff, and they can siege to a win.
And even around Baron, if you're talking about going for a Baron, the Ocean Drakes really do mean a lot. If you're trading HP back and forth around there, you can actually sit and regen. It is interesting to note, though, that no one is actually building a Baron and, the banner on TL's side yet. And yeah, there's no dematerializers, so neither team is super concerned about that, or at least feels that they have a different sort of answer.
Olleh is maybe building towards it. I don't think there's any items that build from armor, MR, and health. So it may be Ruby Crystal into banner for himself. We'll see what it comes through, but you're absolutely right. Impact is not doing it. Sorry to catch up about the dematerialize before, but yeah, 0 players had run that rune in this game. So no easy ways to get rid of that one, and considering Liquid's 5,000 gold lead, a Baron could just actually win the game by itself.
Exactly.
If that comes through.
I mean, 100 Thieves may have said, hey, we don't actually need that because we have hard engage on our team, and that's how we'll actually answer it, but you don't really get to hard engage into a team when you're this far behind. It becomes very, very difficult to win that fight unless you really pull off an amazing engage, which certainly is possible. I mean, when you look at last week for Aphromoo, he had 2 incredible games on Playmakers, on the Blitz, and that Thresh, and now he is here on the Alistar. And a lot of the game is likely going to come down to, can he actually find the carries with his engages, and is the team going to have the follow-up to actually burst them down?
Next trick is going to be Ocean, so triple Ocean for Liquid if they can keep that one going up. See if that does come through for them. It's I guess a bit fitting. Oceans and liquids and everything else. As a bit of damage comes from Cody Sun. Yeah, that is quite a bit of burst. Thanks Electrocute, and now mid lane tier 2 heavily under fire. That was going to fall. There's no one to defend it at all. Sion kind of walks by. Somebody goes, yep, turret's dying. Okay, good to know. I'll walk by a little bit, and look at this impact finding his duel over Ryu. Finds the slow. Grasp triggers, flash auto, and the solo kill for Shen. Takes down a Corki, and nothing else to do for the rest of the team as Jax runs away.
Yeah, I mean, this game's starting to fall apart pretty fast here for 100 Thieves. It just feels like they're losing on all sides of the map. They're not really able to contest hardly anything. I mean, Kha'Zix doesn't even have his Duskblade yet, and he's almost 100%ing your AD carry.
Yeah.
That is a pretty terrifying point to be in. And it kind of doesn't really get better for 100 Thieves until very late in the game at this point. I mean, you're so far behind that at this point you're like, all right, well, wave clear till 40 minutes, but Baron kind of says no to that. Here on the bottom side of the map, Ryu is just out of mana, and you can't actually be this far out on the map when you don't have mana, because he doesn't even have mana for his Valkyrie, so there was no way for him to ever really get away. Yes, you flash, but you are then followed and taken down, and that just feels a little bit desperate, and that's felt like a lot of the plays here from 100 Thieves, not respecting the Shen, not being able to actually find the plays they want, and just kind of reaching a little bit too far.
So a quick itemization update, because I'm very curious about the topic. It's going to be Locket for Olleh, not Banner.
Okay.
He's going to go for the team fight power instead. Doesn't seem to need it. Also, Pobelter going for a heavy flat pen build. He's doing Oblivion Orb, which is kind of the new Haunting guys, the flat pen magic damage item. So he'll be building the new Morellonomicon as a result, which is a flat pen item in itself.
And it is really nice to actually have the Grievous Wounds from that. So with the new Morellonomicon, it actually applies Grievous Wounds at 100% HP as opposed to being below that certain threshold on the old patch. And it's very nice against double AD carry, who is going to have 2 fleet footworks, even just reducing that. You know they're going to be building into lifesteal later. So I think it's a pretty wise choice. And as you pointed it out, the flat pen is going to be very effective there.
Yeah. It's a really good power spike for early game. He's got a lot of ability power to float that thanks to his Seraphs. As we saw the pop-up, Ssumday has built NAL his first banner of 2018. I do fear that this might mean Banner has a 0% win rate so far today, as 100 Thieves are in a really bad spot. They've got a couple of turret kills, but those minions going to die instantly to this growing Kha'Zix.
But on the bright side, Seraphs will have a 100% win rate.
That's true, but on the dark side, Trinity Force, 0% win rate, and that's the worst of all of them.
Yeah, that is a true tragedy for you.
True tragedy. It's like Darth Plagueis the Wise. I mean, it's really one of the worst. And now Impact, about to be in a 1v2, yeah. Gets away from the stun and looks like, charge! And yeah, Impact's taking some damage here to this one. I don't know if he can get away with this. He's going to fight a little bit, put the shield on. He's buying some time. He's doing really good with that, but his health bar is still running low. Gets actually... Oh, you're kidding me! Impact actually gets the kill!
Passive shield
and he's not dying! Are you freaking kidding me, Impact? Still staying alive!
No.
Rakan shows up, gives him the heart, and that is ridiculous.
Oh my god, they bounced forward into the Shen, thinking they had that kill for free, but this is a fed Shen. He's way ahead. Corki and Sion are so weak, and the passive shield there, plus the parry zone, keeps him back alive, and he just says, you know what, I don't have to run. I can just kill you.
You know, they say go to the source of the globe, but Olleh TP's in to guarantee the second kill as well. He's standing united with his Shen. And there we go, 21:06 onto the Baron. Half the team is dead. And they can try to zone out the rest. Alistar nearby, the Tristan Jack as well. They're just going to kill Cody Sun. He's going to jump over the wall and stay alive, though, but the re-engage comes in for Xmithie. A few more shots come in, but a nice pipe back. And the first kill of the game comes through as Cody Sun outplays the jungler. This Baron bait is turning around pretty badly. 1 kill already got to 100 Thieves. TP came in for Ssumday. No fight just yet, but it is a disengage, and TL actually ended up botching the encounter.
Yeah, nicely survived there by 100 Thieves, but definitely no reason to go that ham for the kill, I think, from TL. I mean, I guess Xmithie just thought he was going to 100% Cody Sun, no problem, and easily take him down, but Pobelter had to flash over the wall to actually assist in that play, and he wasn't there in time, I don't think, to actually hit a shockwave on Cody Sun or anything. So if you were going to go that all in for the play, everyone would need to try to get over the wall and fully commit to that. But either way, it is just the 1 kill, and they will still grab a dragon, so it's not the end of the world, but I do feel like TL could have been more patient with that, and here's the play once again. Remember, Impact is at full health. He is very strong. Ryu is going to Valk forward into him, so Impact says, all right, you have no escape. He just turns right around onto him, pulls it in. The parry zone is going to reduce a lot of damage. Nice sidestep on the smash there on the Q. The taunt comes through. He gets the passive shield back up and is just able to survive another pull through for another passive. And And then somebody decides to try to flash in and finish him off, but Olleh has already arrived, and it's just a tragedy in that 1v2.
Oh man, rough stuff, but amazing stuff for Liquid. Impact just making good on all of the gold he's earned so far this game. 5-0-3. I feel like he might be player of the game in this one. There is a chance, I don't want to bias everyone else's opinion, but I think he's winning by a lot here.
He's doing pretty good.
He's doing reasonably well. I would say, like, on a scale of 1 to Azael, it's like a 7. You know? He's doing okay, but this game is Impact's time to shine at the very least. Mid lane turret taking about 3 damage.
And he's got a banner, so he's got it all. You can't even say banner was the MVP of this
that's
game
true.
because he has it.
Now he has it, so yeah.
So Impact doing very, very well for himself. He's still pushing on the bot lane. I do think TL should go back to the Baron. I think that's probably the most advantageous way to try to close out this game. You have triple Ocean, so if you take much damage around there, it's not going to be a big deal. You start up the Baron, you force 100 Thieves to come over and fight you. You are 10,000 gold ahead. Shen stand United's in, you win the fight, you Baron air up the Baron minions, and that's how you close out the game. And we'll see if they're going to actually look for this. They are going for a pick for now.
Damage for you, half HP on the Corki, but kites away as there's the team coming around. 7-kill lead, 9,000 gold. Liquid looking to look for Baron attempt number 2. They ping it. There's the help me ping. We all know that sound. As Impact's putting in the side lanes, and Ssumday does very little damage. Nice taunt, gets rid of the knockback, but he tries again because it's only 2-second cooldown when you interrupt it, and does about 12 damage to the banner minion.
Yeah, and the banner minion will try to work away at this turret. They are kind of threatening pressure onto the Baron. A blue orb did get used over on that Baron, so TL not starting it up just yet. 100 Thieves not getting baited in, but I think TL can aggressively start this up. And they don't have to commit for a 50-50, but you just start it to bring the opponents in, then you look for the engage. I mean, they have incredible engage here with the Rakan and the stand United on top of Rakan and Kha'Zix jumping in and all of these pieces. So I don't think that they should be afraid to actually start it up, and they finally are going to go over to the Baron. They are on it. There's no more blue orbs available except for Corki's right now, so he's got to throw that down. They do spot it, but probably too late. We'll see if Meteos can get there.
They made sure Shen shows up. She doesn't help on this one. Nice charm knockup. They're going to try to buy the time, and yes, they secure the Baron. Good timing by Olleh. Baron picked up 2450. Liquid should have all the tools they need to close this one out if they play it right.
Yeah, just really well done there by Olleh, denying any chance of a steal there from Meteos, and he's going to TP right back out here to mid lane, buying a locket, so no banner cooldown is actually available just yet, but TL is massively ahead. They have the Baron buff. They can get out there on the map. They have Impact even more powerful in a side lane now, split pushing it up, and his banner cooldown is going to be up pretty soon. Yeah,
it's a 120 on the base item. It's down to 1 quarter left, so this is really cute. This is a good play by 100 Thieves. Hoping to find some catch.
Exactly. You're hoping DoubleLift comes to pick up the red before they start this push, and if he came by himself, you maybe get a kill, you delay that. But since TLC's no one on the map, DoubleLift is playing it very safe, and he already has a red buff. He's staying with the team, going to be walking up along with them, and this is how you play it very smart. This is how you reduce any chance of actually losing that game. As long as you are grouped up as a 5-man, 4-man squad, you cannot be kind of caught off guard and randomly lose a fight there.
Gonna say a nice positive of Shen. He does deal quite a bit of physical damage with auto, so he's good at killing bannered up minions who are magic damage immune.
He did not Titanic.
Yeah, exactly. He likes to build physical damage items, which is a big deal for him. He never did join the mid lane siege though, so in fact has yet to buff up any of these sieging minions. Do want to point out really briefly that even without banner, Cannon are doing more damage with the buff than previous patches, and in fact rejoins the mid lane.
That was kind of weird. TP'd in and then just taunted out. At first when I saw the TP, I assumed that there was a cannon minion there, but there was not. He's going to go back probably to the next wave, and this is going to be the one they push on. So the side wave is kind of shoving in. Corki has gotten out there to push it back, but yeah, that is the most important member on the team right now. You protect that cannon.
6v5.
And watch how much damage it actually does to the turrets. The DoubleLift is able to step up here too. And
boom!
A couple more shots and it's gone.
Boom! The team shows up as well, and they're not willing to fight just yet as Impact holds the front line. Ryu working.
I mean, all TL has to do is walk this banner minion in, and it can actually close the game if you can defend it.
Oh, it got yelled at. It's running away, but Ssumday about to run out of HP. Stays alive with 200 left, but it's back. Here's Cannon, and the inhibitor is gone. Liquid get themselves a 11,000 gold
keep
lead.
Defending it, but they are going to decide to just go to the side lanes and spend up their gold. So not going to try to walk it all the way in. You actually can, in a lot of cases, simply just close a game because it's very hard for 100 Thieves to take a fight even at their Nexus turrets at that point because you don't have to walk in range of the Nexus turrets. You actually just sit back and defend that banner minion, but either way, they're pushing in both the side lanes. Super minion's going to be spawning here in the mid lane, and remember, the ranged minions are tankier on their own, just with the Baron buff on this patch, so it is a more effective push than last patch, despite the fact that there is no banner up right now.
All right, so let's see what else they can do. 30 seconds left on this buff. They will not be able to amplify any more than minions, as that's going to be on cooldown for a while. Xmithie getting quite low. Nice little dueling by Ryu. I think it might have been CC by Aphro as well, but either way, nicely done by the squad as they push back a little bit more. Nice taunt by Impact, means some damage into Ssumday as the siege continues to the top side. This is their last Baroned up wave. It's dead in 15 seconds. They get that turned down half HP as a couple more shots come through.
Yeah, doing pretty well here, and you can see the massive level advantage for Impact, up 3 levels over Ssumday is such a big deal and makes it very, very hard to actually deal with him in the side lanes. And they will step forward, I think, and just finish this turret off, and then back off. I mean, you're going to have quite a bit of gold to spend.
They're going to stay for inhib. They figure with no turret, defense is going to be hard for them. Shen does have the ulti available, so Impact can join when he needs to. Four are around. They push Ryu away. No Valkyrie means he's not going to be able to fight very easily. The jump forward, nice flash away by Ryu. The charm did not quite land out of Olleh, but that will be inhib going down with one more auto. They get that shockwave onto 3, and Cody Sun going to run away using heal and the rock to get away, but Aphromoo running out of health. If they get the root, they will not as he flashes out of this one, but ulti down, a lot of HP missing.
Yeah, supers are coming in the mid lane, and you do have triple ocean, so theoretically you can stay around, but there's so much gold on DoubleLift. You know, 2,700 gold on DoubleLift, over 2K on your mid laner Pobelter here as well. I think it makes more sense to just go back, spend up all your gold, establish, you know, an insurmountable gold lead in item advantage, and then go to close it out, because they are 13,000 gold ahead essentially right now. When you spend all that up, there's just no way for your opponents to really outplay you.
No, not at all right here. So the recalls come in, and look at the glorious items on the players. 90% crit for DoubleLift. Void Staff now picked up as well for Pobelter. He's got a pretty good tank buster in and of himself. As, yeah, also now an adaptive helm for Impact makes him almost invulnerable to reuse damage output, and it's getting harder and harder as the GAs also come in for Xmithie. These are very big item spikes, even Redemption for Olleh. Just substantially different breakpoints here. That's what 12,500 gold will do for you.
I mean, they're all just so far ahead, right? It's, you know, it's Corki on 2 items, Pobelter's on 3.5. Yes, the items are very expensive for Corki, but it does not make up the difference or even close to. Even Xmithie here is just at such a strong point with his red pod and inventory and his GA. He can look to jump in very aggressively and trade out his life for one of the carries here from 100 Thieves if they misposition at all. And they are looking for the kill here. Just push in all the lanes. Superman's already spawning in 2. If you knock down this 3rd inhibitor, it's basically lights out.
Basically lights out. Ryu has just recalled and walked back now to join this bot lane siege as it continues on. Baron in 120, but Liquid looking to keep pushing while it's still waiting to come back up. Xmithie going to jump away, but down half HP is a bit rough, but Ssumday CC'd for a bit longer, means he's down to a similar point. Yeah, charges into a tree and gets
Who
stopped.
put that there?
I don't know. Really messed up. Bad landscape.
Oh, the shockwave!
That's the kill picked up. They get one. They're going to find a second as Ryu's going to lose his life on this, and the dive will continue as the rest of the damage should be no problem at all. A double kill for the mid lane. The 4th kill of the fight is they're going to CC Ssumday's corpse, and it's just Cody Sun left alive, and there is just simply not a chance to defend this one. Lick going to pull in a 31-minute win in their first game of the patch. For now, they have sole control of 3rd place in Liquid back on top.
And I mean, this game was just complete and utter domination. 13 kills to 1, 4 dragons to 0. Yes, 100 Thieves got a couple turrets, but this was all TL all the way. And so much of it was created through the advantages in the top lane by Impact, forcing out the flash by himself. They convert on the kill there. They get a second. And then 100 Thieves getting a little bit desperate, trying to force plays elsewhere on the map and not respecting the Shen. I mean, the first 2 plays that they try to go for elsewhere are answered by the Stand United, completely shut down, and that put TL in an enormous lead.
It really did. Impact did twice as much damage as anyone else on the other team. He was absolutely huge, and a great set of plays by him. 5-0 and 6 on the Shen. And you know, we're back to tanks at the top lane, and looks like Impact is really back and forth with that.
Yeah, and a lot of credit has to go to Xmithie too. I mean, yes, Impact forced out the flash solo, but Xmithie was up there, you know, utilizing the fact there's less vision on the map, able to get the first kill, able to get a turret dive after that as well. And the amount of damage he put out is pretty incredible. Almost 16,000 damage here on the Kha'Zix, you know, compared to 1.3K from your Jax. Yes, it is, you know, different champions building different ways, and one is in an extreme advantage, but still. Definitely credit to Xmithie for a really well-played game.
Yeah, really, really solid pathing. I actually remember checking in the middle of the game. He had he and Olleh had the highest vision score, so we're back to no tracker snipes, but the Duskblade Kha'Zix had higher vision score than Aphromoo with a Sight Stone, right? Like Xmithie can't even buy wards anymore, essentially, and he's still winning in vision score, and because he had that game like last week or so where it was nuts as well, and he had like 17 zombie wards in the Baron Pit, but still, obviously great play by him, and hey, it looks like Liquid is back. Yeah, it's a one-game sample, but this team looks super scary. I know a lot of people said they were probably still going to be the third best team, maybe challenge for the top as well, and I mean, smashing the third place team in 100 Thieves this easily gives some credibility to that.
Yeah, it certainly does. And when you are getting towards the later end of the season, you have to start looking about, not just making playoffs, but who would you favor in these matchups if they were to actually fight against each other, and also trying to get a more favorable playoff matchup, right? Getting that third place seed may get you a much easier matchup than some of these other ones, and I think that's going to be a big advantage for TL and also a big boon to their confidence as they'd had a couple rough weeks.
Absolutely the case, but Liquid looking great, so now going to throw it down to Olleh, and Liquid's 1v2 monster in the top lane.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Impact and our translator, Joanne. Congratulations on that win. We saw you with a dominating performance on that Shen. What was the decision-making behind the pick, and how did it impact the game?
Can you see me?
The question. Okay. 쉔 오늘 되게 완벽하게 퍼포먼스 했잖아요. 그리고 decision 어떻게 생각하는지, 팀 어떻게 임팩트 했는지 좀 말해주세요.
I just watching yesterday EULCS and they play Shen. Oh, it's my time. Looks. And I just play Shen just yesterday's scrim and just win every game. So that's why I'm pick. And yeah, my Shen really good, I think.
Had a great game with him. Now, when you say you watch EULCS, do you also watch other regions? And maybe what do you learn from those games?
Watching EULCS, what you learn? Don't hitting better. I'm learning that, and I'm watching that they're in looks risky, but they're just not scared. Just do something, always do something. I'm learning that, and I can talk more. Yeah, thank you, EULCS.
They're learning for us. On this week's episode of Squad, we saw that there was a lot of team building involved with the team. How would you describe the state of the team right now?
팀 분위기가 지금 어떤지.
I think same. Maybe never mind. Maybe better. I think a little better. But for me, always same. To me, always same, and yeah, we good.
With it being a little bit better, how would you say it has improved?
어떻게 더 좋아졌는지 팀 분위기가.
Just talking more with each other, and we try to understand what we can do, what I can do. I can just go vision, or I can just we running more, and now really important to vision thing because jungle don't have more. So we try looking more vision controller, and I'm trying to help vision because I'm play tank, so I can move and vision because I don't need CS, whatever CS. I mean anyway banner gets CS, so. It's my friend get CS, it's banner get CS, so I don't need to go bottom or splitting. So I'm just help vision.
Well, thank you, Impact and Joanne. For more on the game, let's hear from the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you very much, Olleh. A monstrous game out of Impact in the top lane there on Shen. Maybe the first and last time we see him play that champion this split based on how he shut down 100 Thieves.
It was funny, too, hearing in scrims like, oh, yeah, I played it one day. I won every game. So you guys, tomorrow you might want to ban it against me.
I mean, and polling from the EULCS, but to so quickly be able to bring that pick back in, to pro play, it is one of his signature picks.
Exactly. Mark and I were kind of talking during the game about what's Impact's best champion of all time. I was saying it was Shen, just because that's what he was a world champion with in 2013. I even remember his times on tip, like when he was dominant on Shen ulting Rush in a lot of those big games. He just always seems so calm on it and always applies a ton of pressure.
All right, we throw the win conditions up on the board. Mark, you were saying throw a big party in the bot lane. Well, Shen services that goal quite well.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about how great he is on the pick, but how good it should be for TL's playstyle that we're talking about. Well, they should be focused a little bit more on their bot lane, getting that rolling. And like we said, Shen's the perfect pick. Double the teleports. You can go bot lane more often. You saw that really influence them. But they also played around Impact a lot this game.
Yeah.
We were kind of being hesitant about that last week. But it was a lot more natural this time around because Impact forced the flash, on his own in a 1v1 cannot overstate how important that was, because it gave them that free kill, which then snowballs into this pressure about going down to the bot lane.
Yeah, it means he hits 6 first. It's before the 100 Thieves bottom lane thinks it is ready.
Oh, and then this.
Then my win condition for 100 Thieves was to get Ryu ahead so he could 1-3-1. They can't even 2-1 in the side lane.
I was going to say, take note that Ryu's not in any of these replays.
Yeah, for sure. He was. He disappeared in this one because he got solo killed by Impact. Like, Impact was so dominant this game, it stopped the ability from 100 Thieves to have any type of map pressure, which never allowed them to group for any objectives. It never let them team fight on their own terms. And they never got on the right foot in this game because of how well Impact played.
Yeah, out to the races. You don't even have to play around bot lane that much if your Shen is kind of an immovable object up there in the top lane. When you see the Baron taken, we saw a couple banners built, not quite to the extremes that we maybe would have thought, but in some cases, like games are ending at 30 minutes, you don't even have the opportunity to build that many banners.
Yeah, not that many opportunities, but also just how they played with that Baron buff was not super impressive. I mean, this was just a monster snowball going on through that top lane pressure and going to bot lane.
Gold advantage.
Yeah, but then after that, they were like a little slow getting into their lane setups, and then it's like, hey, Impact, you have the banner, so we need you to group up with the team to drop the banner, but then they TP in randomly like this.
Yeah, and Azael brought this up during the cast as well. Impact goes back, catches the banner, buffs it up, and they let it kill the one under turret. But this super minion with banner on it outranges turrets. And at this point, TL is a triple Ocean Drake team with a 12,000 gold lead, and they need to force 100 Thieves to try and initiate on them so they can just win the game right there. Obviously, they were not punished for it in really any way because they initiated fights later, but you will end the game on that push if you just have confidence in the banner minion and protecting it.
I mean, that's one of those things where we're looking at it and we're comparing them to the top teams in the league. Like, what would Echo Fox or C9 have done there? At one point, Sion walks up to the minion, shouts it back, and then they almost kill him in reaction. They were like stunned that they almost killed Sion with a 10k Goldie and Baron buff. If he walks up like that, just kill him, and then you end the game.
Oh, Echo Fox pulls that trigger just like that.
If that Sion dares to walk up to shout the minion, he's dead. And they just didn't have that kind of like going for the jugular mentality that we see out of the other top teams. And the game went on for another like 4 minutes, but they're so ahead they win eventually.
A point of criticism there, but let's talk about any improvements that they did make. Obviously, impact on the Shen we've talked about, and it's kind of interesting to see what him on a tank like that kind of does for the other 4 members on the squad.
Right, especially because the other members of the squad were winning the matchups in their own right. Pobelter's Orianna did a tier lost chapter build, never lost lane pressure to Corki. Olleh and DoubleLift did the invade bottom lane that gave them lane pressure early and never let that relent. So this is, I think, how you can win a lot of games on this patch, is if you're able to get 3 winning lanes, you just continue on and win the game.
Yeah, I mean, that's a beautiful goal graph right there, exactly what you want to see. And there's a bit of interesting conversation there by Impact about the role of tanks and getting vision control. And with less of it available, how important it is to have a beefy frontliner to walk up.
Right.
And he's saying, I can do that now as a tank. This is something I'm comfortable doing and allows my team to play better. And if I have a banner of command minion and I'm a tank, it doesn't matter if I start losing CS, whereas if you're playing a squishy frontliner like Camille or GP, you're not the guy
You're not
going
to be face checking.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
It really works well for TL's playstyle with how important vision control will be now that's not just on the jungler exclusively.
Moving themselves to 8-5, putting a game separation between them and 100 Thieves. Up next, TSM take on FlyQuest for Game 2. See you here after the break.